5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go.
What is it? What's wrong, sister?
Don't be frightened.
Hello and welcome to the Worst Movie Ever Made, an experimental movie podcast designed with one thing in mind, to find the worst movie ever made. I'm your host, Chris Ackman, joined by my co-host, fellow mad scientist, Rob Scucci and Bob Hasek. Hey guys, how are you and why are we doing The Wicker Man?
Because Bob has been a member of this show since, you're a third shareholder of this intellectual property. You came in with Catwoman was your guest spot, and then you came in with Dante's Peak, and then
Dante's Peak.
And then you've been here since. But you revealed to us you'd never seen The Wicker Man, the 2006 version starring Nicolas Cage. So even though this is episode number 2 with just me and Chris that you could hear at www.theworstmovieevermade.com and just scroll down through those archives, you could actually, you don't have to do that anymore. You could just, it's going to be a more recent episode on the feed with Bob's
fresh
expertise and input because he's never seen it and he needs to, because we got to bring him down to our level. So,
hell yeah.
Without further ado, how are you, Bob, and would you like to describe this?
I'm ready to describe it because now that I've seen it, I'm ready to describe it.
Hell yeah.
I don't care that you slept with my sister, now I got a daughter niece. I don't care that you gave me the crotch critters twice.
Confused? We are too. But don't worry, Bob lives to explain. This is the best explanation.
All right.
Rob just got strobed.
I got strobed.
I almost got stroked.
I'm going to say it. Rob got strobed. Okay, go on.
All right. Cage, as a cop, comes to a Celtic cult only to cook to a crisp.
Perfect.
Okay. So
Absolutely
Edward, this is my best, here we go. Edward Malice tries to rescue, he's a police officer. He tries to rescue a woman and child from a burning car, only to fail and take leave from his job. While on leave, he receives some letter from a local island claiming to have a missing child. He travels to that island to find that the child is his child, mothered by his ex, who lives on the island. He doesn't give up trying to find the girl, even though all signs point to an insane plot to confuse him. And he's ultimately tricked into staying. Ultimately, gets hobbled by the strong townsfolk and stung by lots of bees and burned alive in a giant wooden person figure thing called the Wicker Man.
Yeah, that is what happened.
Yeah.
That's everything.
Okay.
All right, well, let's throw it to the worst YouTube comment.
Experts say that going onto YouTube and reading the comments is tremendous for your mental health because everybody else by comparison is batshit insane.
If I had known that, I'd have been here months ago.
I had to pick 2 this time because these were just like batshit. The piquant radiator phenomenologically fade because puppy etiologically zip, including a lethal step grandmother. Orange, ultra calf.
In the fuck?
What the fuck?
And then something
a
little more
like schizophrenia comments.
Yeah,
Reddit.
I was actually looking at one of those schizophrenia simulators when I saw that comment.
Yeah.
All right, next one. A tale of heroic masculinity in which Nicolas Cage dresses up in a bear costume and runs around an island getting stung by bees and punching women in the face. It sounds way better than it is. 0.5 out of 10. Watch it anyway, though. Oh, God, not the bees.
Perfect.
Nice.
Very much sums it up. Let's throw it to test number 1. Ain't that a pitch?
Money now and a lot more when I get in that office. I can take that to the bank.
Mo's money, Mo's money, Mo's money.
I'm gonna take you to the bank, Senator Trent. To the blood bank.
Ain't that a pitch?
Nice.
I think I'm most proud of that one. I think I went
All right,
first.
I'm gonna try to keep track of this from this point on. So last week we went Chris, Bob, Rob.
Yeah, so now we should do Bob, Rob, Chris.
I say we cycle it. Yeah, Bob, Rob, Chris.
Yeah.
All right, cool. And then I'll do
See if we
Rob,
can cycle
Chris,
it.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, so
All
your
right,
turn,
so
Bob.
I'm gonna go first. Ain't that a pitch? There once was a man allergic to bees who spent his days catching cars that speed. Apparently, he thinks himself a detective, which ultimately proves ineffective as he perishes well above 500 degrees.
Ooh.
Perfect synopsis.
Like an artisanal pizza. I love it. Edward Malice isn't in it for the money. He's answering a call from his ex-honey. Rowan's hiding in the trees behind those godforsaken bees. Don't trust femme cults because they're just a little too chummy.
Wow. I've got the same rhyme scheme, Rob.
Nice.
When Nick Cage is on our pod, my mood is warm and sunny, especially when he took the role because he needed money. Not to be outdone, he tries too hard in this one and manages to make punching women somehow super funny.
It really is.
I think we did a team.
Team
4
5.
5.
Team 5?
Wow.
Yeah, team 5.
I mean, if this movie's bad enough to be brought on the podcast twice, then I think it's a 5-star.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
and we really all like. Yeah. You can get the gist of the movie by listening to those 3 pitches, I think.
Yeah. Yes, we took the exposition
Completely
route. I love it. I love it.
We all
yeah,
did,
but
yeah.
a little humor mixed in there. Test number 2, most offensive.
Time to give everybody the good old zip and slip with the most offensive.
You keep my penis out your mouth now. Yeah, I'm talking about my penis. My penis is just fine.
Yeah.
Super punky. Really like that one.
All right. So number
5.
Fists to female faces.
Yeah.
Short, to the point. It happens a number of times in this movie. And there's also a clip that I'll foreshadow now in the catch-all where he doesn't punch a girl in the face, but he
does he does something.
Yeah. Kicks her in a way that is harmful. Yeah. Number
4.
All right, this is not alliteration, but sometimes I find the wording and I just like it. This is gunpoint. This is gunpoint bike jacking.
Step away from the bicycle.
Yeah.
That was great. Like, I mean, she's a pain in the ass, but like, are you gonna shoot her to death for her bicycle?
Yeah, that's one of those
leads to
save bullets and just pistol whip her. You know?
Yeah, for real. Like seriously, just like bring the butt of the gun up like you're gonna punch her in the face again, like because you don't mind punching women. I bet you she'll give you the bike anyway.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't want to be cracked in the head with the butt of a gun.
Yeah.
Number
3.
All right. I originally had this in my catch-all, but I upgraded it. This is the pre-ritual rigamarole. I say, why not just put Cage in a cage and be done with it? You know, you need a few days to prepare. It's not, the summer solstice or whatever the fuck, Just put Cage in a little prison and why have him go, like, into this loft that breaks and he almost dies and then trap him in a fucking
counterpoint, though.
Crypt, and then he almost drowns or dies of hypothermia and then... Yeah, I feel like there was one other where they, like, literally tried to kill him.
Counterpoint, though.
I'm like, why all this?
He dies from the bees, and they use his adrenaline because he needs to be alive for the sacrifice. So I think suffering is a component that the gods need to. Like, if he's not suffering or like in a heightened state when he's getting burned alive, then like it's like it might as well be radio, you know.
I'm not sure that
at the same time, they said he had to be a willing. Not willing participant, but a willing come to the island of his own free will. But he to Rob's point, he already had. So once he's there, then who cares?
Yeah,
that's
a good
what
point.
I'm saying. Yeah,
yeah, it doesn't make sense.
Lock him up in the basement somewhere.
Yeah,
put him in the Wicker Man a few days early.
Yeah, let him ripen.
Just let him sit up there. Yeah, ripen. Yeah. I like that. Number
2.
Baby boy bye-byes. Do you know what I mean by that?
No,
well, if you don't, listener,
go ahead.
I haven't seen this one yet. This is a feminine fertility, females lead the way kind of community here. Nicolas Cage's character, Edward, asks what they do with the baby boys that are born.
Yes.
He's like, what do you do with them? Yeah. Depends on what.
Whether they could mine them for their cum to propagate the species.
The babies?
Well, they grow up.
How do you judge? Yeah, well, how do you judge? I mean, we're saying like some babies make it, some
they're
babies
psychotic.
don't.
They're psychotic bee worshippers. They probably hang upside down and like flick their sack for like,
God.
for like some sort of like litmus test they have. You know?
Yeah, well, that's what I was getting at. How do we decide?
I got in trouble for talking about a handicapped person.
And Bob is in trouble for a handicap joke, and Rob is talking about a flick sack litmus.
I called it a ball draining litmus test. Right up.
Well, that's okay. We're collectively, you know what? Bob has that 1/3 of all rights going forward, and he has 1/3 of the right to be canceled with the other two of us. Number 1. Well, I mean, this one's not even funny, but it's ceremonial sacrifice of an innocent human, an innocent civilian. I wrote. It's just not cool. So you get the idea throughout the movie that it's even worse because you think that they're going to burn a child to death.
Yeah.
But, when it comes down to brass tacks, like, I don't know. So here's what I found so offensive is that this movie was sort of hinting at some actual magical elements, right? Like the twins certainly had like a magical element because they knew what the other twin was going
If
to
by
say.
magical, do you mean fucked up faces?
Oh my God, they looked awful looking. They looked awful. Yeah. That's the kind of set of twins you see in aisle 4 when you're at Stop and Shop, and you're just like, wow, I'll get pasta next time. Yeah, I'm not going anywhere near that. Yeah.
Ugh. Yeah.
But yeah, they were magical, right? But Summer's Isle, there was a suggestion that she was magical too.
Yeah.
So were they trying to suggest that the ceremony is actually going to bear fruit? Unintended.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yes.
There's never an epilogue that showed like the next year's harvest and like his picture on the wall. That would have been a great way to end it.
That would have been he's just surrounded. He's like covered in flowers and surrounded.
It's just a
by,
picture.
Like,
it's just a picture of
like
him
barrels.
in a bear suit.
It's him in a flowery dress, but he has bare feet, and I mean bare feet,
like Midsummer.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, Bob, you mentioned this in our text stream, but there was 4 minutes total that were cut out, and this goes into why it's so offensive. They break his legs brutally, and show it. In
Misery,
full theatrical.
Hobbling.
Well, not theatrical, but like the director's version, I guess.
Yeah.
And they sting him and they burn him alive, which I think they show in the theatrical version. But the legs, especially, pretty awful to watch. But funny because Nick Cage just has a way of making everything funny. Let's throw it to test number 3. This is the worst dialogue, and then we'll do your ad read after.
Yeah.
My father just died and left me something in his will.
But I thought you said your father was already dead.
Well, he was just dead to me, but now he's dead to the rest of the world.
The dialogue can't get much worse than that. Maybe it will in the worst dialogue.
Oh my God, we're going to start off really strong here. This is number
5.
This is Whammo.
I trust you won't have to let your costume out again this year, sister. Very soon you'll be an entire family of bears.
Oh, I'll manage, Sister Oak. It does seem to shrink a bit each year, however.
Because she's getting fat.
Yeah.
So, sister, did you see to that business at the harbor?
Oh, yes. Just as you instruct. And now I'll be off.
Well. You look a bit worse for wear now, don't you?
mean, she had it coming though.
She did.
That smug fucking look on her face the entire time. They really cast like the most unfuckably like hideous women for this movie.
Yeah, I will say Summer's Isle for being in her 70s though, she can get it.
Even the hot ones, just they have the crazy eyes.
Yeah,
they all have it.
The chick, and I thought about putting this one in as an honorable mention for dialogue, but you know how he's like, I had some tapes in my bag. Did you see the tapes? They were self-help.
Yeah.
How to get better. And she's like, okay, good. And then walks away. You know that chick?
Yeah.
And then they have, like
They're all the kind of chicks, like, if you don't answer their text in 5 minutes, you'll step outside from work and your tires will be slashed.
Yeah, all right, that's fair. Dr. T.H. Moss or whatever is in, she's in Haunting of Hill House, and she's usually in a horror movie or horror shows. And she has like a good rack on her, I think. So they usually like kind of show that off, but they didn't in this movie. You know, for being like 60, I'm always stuck with that Ed Gein last podcast on the left. There's like cops that describe that he killed this woman that was like 60 or something. Yeah. But the cops actually wrote in their notes that she had a good set of tits.
Oh jeez.
Because he made a bodysuit and wore her boobs around. And they were like, they're pretty good boobs.
God.
I kind of get it.
Look at that solid meat.
Yeah, doing the flick nip litmus. Anyway, let's throw it to number 4. This is A Glance.
This is my favorite clip in the whole movie.
Now, a complaint has been made by a resident of this island.
Complaint, you say?
Yes, ma'am, about a missing child.
Well, no. That's always trouble.
Yep, for everybody.
Perhaps you should take these matters up with Sister Summer's Isle. She's very particular about anyone landing here. How did you land here, by the way? Was it the harbor pilot?
He just...
Well, he'll need a good talking to.
What's in the bag? A shark or something? Do you know her?
I don't recognize this child. Do you, Violet?
No, can't say I do.
Just a tip there, it often helps to actually glance at the photo.
Like, he's so over it. He's like, this is like the first act. He's like already so fucking over their shit.
It helps to glance at the photo. Okay, just kidding. Number
3.
I mean, this is the crescendo here, but this is not the bees.
You bitches! This is murder! Murder! You'll all be guilty! And you're doing it for nothing! Killing me won't bring back your goddamn honey!
But I know it will.
There it is! There it is.
Oh,
a little late.
I don't get it!
I don't get it!
I'm not one of you! I don't believe in your God! I don't believe in sacrifice! No, stop moving! Ah! What is it? 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 Oh, no, not the bees! Not the bees! Ah! Open my eyes! My eyes! Ah! Ah!
It's the last, after the long scream, he goes, ah! He goes, ah!
If you listen to our show, then you don't mind profanity. I do apologize if you mind the graphic, because his leg's being broken. We did sort of kind of warn you earlier that happens in this movie, but I realized as this was playing that we are showing you this clip. Yeah. So if you had children in the room, I apologize. But probably not. If you're listening to us, you're probably in your car on the way to work or something. But
yeah.
Yeah, so there it is. That's Nick Cage. I feel like that's the thing that they had him audition with, if he auditioned at all for this, which he probably didn't have to. But just the part where he's like, "Oh, what is it? What is it? What is it?" They pour the bees. And he's like, "Not the bees!" Like, I feel like that's the scene that they had everybody audition with. And Nick Cage got it, and he was like the 17th person in line to audition. They're like, "Wait a minute, that's Nick Cage. We're not paying enough to even invite him." And he's like, I owe back taxes.
Yeah.
All right, let's start at number 2. This is,
I can't let them do this to me.
Do what, Willa? What is it you're not telling me?
Forgive me.
Forgive you for... I'm lost.
I don't know.
We all are.
Don't worry, it's...
No, I don't know. I do not know that our daughter's going to be okay. Now you know what I've been trying to tell you, why I need you to help me.
You're telling me I'm Roland's father?
Yes.
I'm sorry, long clips this week. That start and stop and start language that they have, where they're like, do you know? Because I don't know. Do you know? Like, how bad does writing get? We're supposed to feel like there might be an actual romantic connection between them that has continued since he's been on the island, because she left accidentally. You're supposed to, they're supposed to lean into that. We're supposed to believe that so that we don't catch on to what's actually happening.
That's supposed to be an incredibly tense scene too, and it's not.
No. You're supposed to find out that he's the father, like you didn't already guess that.
Yeah.
And they just do the worst possible job setting it up with, I don't know, do you know? And he's like, I don't know, but you know what I mean? And it's just incredibly frustrating and super bad. But the thing that might have made me laugh the hardest, I know, Rob, for you, was
the picture.
The picture of... But for me, it was something called... This is number 1.
You know what? Fuck it.
A plant.
Sorry, you're gonna have to bear with me. You little liars. Rowan Woodward is your classmate, isn't she? Isn't she? That is her desk. And you're the biggest liar of them all. I am warning you. You tell me another and I'll arrest you myself. That is a promise, Miss...
Rose, Sister Rose.
Of course. Another plant. Rose. For the last time, where's this girl?
I'll speak to you outside.
It's the adding of the rose. Another plant. Like, we got it. You got the rose.
Yeah. Rose. Another plant. We were onto this. Thank you for spelling it out to us. But I love that he's got a classroom of 11-year-olds, and he's you little fucking liars. They're just doing what their teacher told them to do.
They've been indoctrinated. They've been indoctrinated since birth from their golden boy litmus balls. So
so I don't know, I just love that they had to spell it out for us, that making it a thing at all. I don't know, I didn't see the original Wicker Man. Was it a thing where they were all plant names? I don't know, but who cares?
I gotta see it. It's one of those things I keep meaning to watch it, and I keep watching this one instead. For reasons mostly personal.
You search for it and they both come up.
It's what's that meme
right to the
guy, the sweaty guy with the rag and the 2 buttons, and it's always a 2006 version. I click.
Yeah. Rob, why don't we throw it to your ad read?
Sure.
Hey, do you have any really good ideas like this one?
And you know I'm trying to get that chicken and check casher place off the ground.
Chicken and check casher, they don't go together.
Neither does chicken and waffles, but you see how that blew up.
Oh.
Well, Rob will tell us all about it in Rob's ad read.
Today's episode of The Worst Movie Ever Made is brought to you by Summer's Isle Honeysuckles, the only Pacific Northwest summertime sweet treat that will remind you of your dead daughter who's totally missing and dead. Or is she? Maybe she's in jeopardy, or maybe your bitch ex-fiance, Willow, is up to her usual tricks. Hiding a secret child? Revealing it's yours only when she's about to be ritualistically sacrificed? Still wearing the engagement ring on her necklace because even though she lives in a commune that says, I don't need no man, she's still a pathetic whore who lacks the independence she needs to not join a bee-worshipping death cult? Wow, buddy, you really fucked up there. Where you're going, there aren't any 3 a.m. hot dogs, and that's on you. Summer Isle Honeysuckles, a savory betrayal.
You're right. There definitely isn't. All right. Well, thank you, Summer's Isles Honeysuckles.
Yeah. Let's go with
okay. Yeah. All right. We really appreciate your patronage. Let's go to test number 4. This is the worst production. Go ahead, Bob.
You're gonna need a montage. Even Rocky had a montage.
The worst production.
Montage.
So I'm gonna mention something twice in this episode. Once now and once in what we're watching. I watched the original as my research.
Nice.
And I'm gonna say my tagline for worst production is the spirit of the original is lost.
Okay.
Okay. Interesting.
So remakes are usually bad, but not this bad. So
yeah,
the original focused strongly on the religious aspect of the island, and it wasn't ruled by women or anything like that, and there were no bees in the entire opening, like the entire early version. No bees, and it wasn't ruled by women. But they even went as far as explaining the origin of the island in much greater detail without belaboring the point, like it was just good exposition.
Yeah.
Right.
And this remake just lost sight of that, especially Americanizing it with a faux love interest. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
So the original had like weirdness all the way through. Also, tit scope was way up in the original.
Whoa.
Maybe I'll hit the other red button next time.
And it was they really leaned hard into the fact that it was a religion based upon agriculture and free spirit, and really mocking Western Christianity. And the police officer was only there in the original because he was investigating a missing girl, but also because he really believed strongly in Christianity.
Okay.
And they really leaned hard into the religion aspect. So the original had the weirdness all the way through. And this one had like that beard of bees scene and like a deformed guy in a room alone. That one like real quick scene. And those were like peppered in for trailer fodder, in my opinion.
Yeah. Okay.
This movie had no spirit, no eeriness.
Yeah.
Just a loose story that Cage can defend, apparently. Which I'll talk about my catch-all.
All right.
Ooh, I can't wait. That's awesome. So the spirit of the original is lost.
It totally lost.
Yeah.
Well, I would love to agree, but I haven't seen the original, so I'm going to take your word for it. But Bob's our expert on all things production, so you can feel assured in taking his opinion. Let's throw it now.
Well, I'll tell you this much: the people who were in the original wanted to make a follow-up, and they really got like really far into development, and then American studios took over and said, "No, we're going to make a remake." And the original people were like, "No, remakes suck." And they were right.
Generally speaking, they do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like they were good filmmakers.
Yeah.
And then we
Probably.
handed it to the Hollywood machine that just grinds everything into a powder and pastes
Snorts
it
it up.
over the eyes of the American people, and they, for some reason, needed
Yeah.
it.
There was no love interest or child of the police officer in the first one.
You don't
Yeah.
always need that, but
No.
you're right. It's Americanized that way.
Yeah,
It's
very much so.
the love interest line is the MSG of
Yeah.
Hollywood. You know, like you put it in, it makes it a little more tolerable, but you don't always need it, and
And it always leaves you salty at the end.
Let's throw it to test number 5, the worst acting.
I'm a grown ass man. I got bills to pay. I got another family across town. I got this nasty drug habit, and I'm in love with this bitch I can't stand.
We know all about the worst acting.
This might be better than dialogue, honestly. These scripts are fucking amazing.
Yep.
Let's start with a relatively short one. This is number
1, Daddy.
Okay, I take it back. This is my favorite clip of the whole show. This is what?
There's your answer. If she existed, we would know of her. Now, will you please go?
Whose desk is this?
What?
I feel like that should have been an abuser, maybe, but it's too good for an abuser. He almost. Okay, so just for context, he's like trying to discover Rowan's presence in this school to prove that she exists, and that he's not on a wild goose chase. And there's an empty desk in the back.
Yeah.
And he goes to the empty desk and opens it for proof that Rowan exists, but there's no diary or notes or anything in there. There's a crow.
Yeah.
And the crow flies out. Cage isn't expecting it, and his reaction is, what? It's like it's so like not enough, but too much at once. And I don't understand why. What would never be your reaction? He just like kind of skirts out of the way and says the word what, and it's so awkward.
It's the same as on Plan 9. What? Where?
What? Where? Oh, fucking love that, man. If you want to make that an abuser for next week or something, I feel like no matter who wins for next season, we should clip Cage going, what? It's just so awesome. All right, number 2. All right, here's the meat. This is why. If you want some meat on the bones of this movie to come at you on again, next time you want to watch it, this is the clip. Here's the replay value for you. And number 2, this is Burned.
This hers? Tell me!
Yes, I think it's... Yeah.
How'd it get burned? How'd it get burned? How'd it get burned? How'd it get burned?
I don't know!
Oh my god. Can we play it one more time, please? Can we play it again?
Yeah, 1 second. It's
This hers? Tell me!
Yes, I think it's... Yeah.
How'd it get burned? How'd it get burned? How'd it get burned? How'd it get burned?
I don't know!
No one interacts with other humans that way. Ever.
Yeah.
Yes. That was fantastic.
Amazing. All right, let's start to number 3. This is another one. This is Permission.
I'm looking for a missing girl. Take that mask off your kid.
You wait a minute. Do you have permission to charge in here and just destroy?
No! I don't need anybody's goddamn permission! I'm gonna search every inch of this town in the next 3 hours, and anybody who interferes will be brought up on murder charges. You got that? You have my permission to stay out of the fucking way!
Fuck was that? Girl falls out of the cupboard and they all start laughing at him. Was that like a setup all along? What was that?
They were just trying to spook him because he was already kind of
That was actually ripped. That entire scene was ripped from the original, except for him freaking out.
Oh, really?
The original police officer was much more like procedural, and
right,
But
level-headed.
the kids still had masks on. The girl still fell out of the closet and laughed at him but that was the theme of the whole movie. The whole movie was them fucking with him. Like this one, it was like peppered in barely.
Yeah.
It was very inconsistent.
Yeah.
I love the part where she's like, "Do you have permission to be here?" And he's like, "No." Only Cage would ever try that. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. It doesn't ever work in this movie, in my opinion.
Yeah. No, it doesn't.
You gotta love it. You gotta love him for trying.
Yeah.
All right. Let's throw it to fact or no fact.
Cool.
Fact or no fact?
Absolutely, positively, no
fact.
Now these chicken breasts or is your breast?
It's gonna catch me every time. Okay, The Wicker Man. I based upon the remake of his family lying to him, The Trickster Fam.
Right.
The Trickster Fam. Nice.
Yeah, not bad. All right, so 4 of these things I'm gonna read you are real, and one of them is made up. And you gotta figure out what it is. Here we go. First one.
Cool.
This was nominated for 5 Golden Raspberry Awards, but lost them all. Okay, second one. The original writer-director of the 1973 version had his name removed from this film's credits as he did not wish to be associated with it.
Okay.
Okay, third one. Winona Ryder turned down the role of Willow in this film as she hated the script.
Okay.
Okay, fourth one. The girls in the classroom were supposed to be around age 12, but one of the girls was 21 at the time. And the fifth one. This is only the second movie where Nicolas Cage played a police officer. Okay, figure it out.
Okay. Golden Raspberry, that's believable, but I'm not 100% if it didn't win one. I think I remember a while back reading something about the original director not wanting to be associated. I could see Winona Ryder in that role, and I could see why she would turn it down. So I'm gonna go with that. The girls in the classroom were supposed to be 12, but one was 21. I could see that. Because I was on Reddit earlier today, and it was like a random like, what's one actor you don't really see much of lately? And they were like the little girl from Matchstick Men. I forget her name, but she was playing a 14-year-old girl in that movie, and she was like 24 years old, and she looked like a 14-year-old. She looked like a young teenager. So I mean, it does happen if someone like is looking for work and they got to play someone and they look young. Why not?
Andy Milonakis.
Yeah, that kid hasn't hit puberty yet. The second movie where Cage played a police officer. So we have 8mm. Technically, we have Face Off because he's playing himself being played by a police officer.
And
he was Bad Lieutenant. You have The Rock, where he's not he might be an special agent, but
FBI agent, yeah.
But the term police officer could be used as a blanket statement, though.
Right? Does he mean beat cop or
like he was in some sort of official capacity? So I'm saying just by the few I could just rattle off the top of my head, I want to say that's the lie. I think he played officers in several, if not many.
All right, I'm gonna be fair. I'm gonna be fair with this fact. This is the second movie where Cage played a police officer, not the only other movie where Cage played a police officer.
You mean chronologically?
Chronologically, this is the second one.
I still don't believe it. I want to say that's the lie.
Okay.
But Bob being fair about it makes me feel like that can't be it now. So
he could be doubling down, thinking that would instill doubt in my mind.
Yeah, he's going double agent on us.
Yeah.
Oh, my students would be so proud of me.
Double bubble
Reverse-
foolery.
Reverse psych bobology.
Well, we both tried.
All right.
Yeah.
The one that seems the most like something Bob would do is he would pick Winona Ryder for the role of Willow, and that she hated the script. And I feel like somehow it's going to be like Winona Ryder was considered to be the little girl. No, I couldn't have mentioned. Like Winona Ryder was in some project at the same time that was similar to this, but not this. And so therefore I'm going to go with number 3.
All right. You'll know the answer as soon as I say this. The lie was from the original Wicker Man, not this one. So at that time, there were no such thing as the Golden Raspberry Awards.
21.
So that was this one.
21.
It lost all 5 nominations. The original writer-director was fine with the original, did not like this one, wanted his name off it. Winona Ryder was probably not born yet at the time of the original one, so yes, she did turn down the role. The girls in the classroom, one of them was 21 in the original Wicker Man.
Oh, okay.
And this is the only second. So he did I forget the one where he like played the lottery and shared the winnings with Bridget Fonda. He played a cop in that before he played in this movie, and then he played a bunch after. But this was the second one that he played a cop.
When did 8mm come out then?
After that.
Really?
I'm also
that was 1999.
Wait, 8mm.
1999 crime thriller by Schumacher. He might not have been a cop though. Let's see. He was a PI, so not technically a cop. Okay.
There you go.
All right, that's the
And
red herring I was
Bob,
sniffing.
for number 3, you were saying that Winona Ryder was considered for Willow, the older woman, in this one, in 2008.
No, Willow was the wife. Was the ex girlfriend mother.
Rowan was the daughter.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
why couldn't Winona Ryder in 2008 have been Willow?
She turned it down.
2006.
Yeah, she turned it
she
down.
turned it down. She couldn't have been Willow in the original one.
Was that
Plus,
a
there
fact?
was
Did I
there
just miss
was
that?
no Willow in the original one.
Right,
Willow
there
didn't
was no
exist in the original.
Yeah, see, I thought, well, it doesn't matter now. I lost. It's fine. It's my fault for misunderstanding. I didn't win, so I'm really upset about that.
Idiot. Fucking moron.
All right, let's jump.
Yeah, one of the girls in the original classroom was 21. I thought that was kind of funny.
Huh. All right.
That is funny.
Gotta get work, man. All right.
Nice. I'm just gonna start with all my tropes, so I'll start with the first one. Not every diner waitress says "hun."
Yeah, that's true.
It can't
You
be
don't think?
100% of them. I don't think it can be.
It's
Maybe it's
so many
83%.
though.
Maybe it's 83%, 84%, but
All right.
100%.
I'll give you over 80%.
Okay.
Yeah, just over, I think.
Yeah.
Not every single one of them. All right, go ahead, Bob.
The first time I watched this, I just thought that bastard kid keeps tossing the doll out of the car. What a bastard! What a psychopath!
Yeah.
And that's what I thought.
That's when the fucking with him started.
Yeah. But I didn't know at the time. I just kept thinking he was a psychopath.
Speaking of fucking with him, did they need to make him an unreliable narrator?
No.
They do. They keep doing the pills, and he was like clearly on leave because he was traumatized by the whole car thing. But like, it's also made clear that they're fucking with him every step of the way. So like, even if he is a little delirious from like what he's been through, he doesn't need to be. It's not a plot mechanism.
I think I know
If
why
anything,
they did it.
If anything, it'd be more effective if they did it to make you question whether or not he was experiencing reality or hallucination. But they didn't need to because it's from a third person perspective. It's so obvious they are fucking with him.
I have one scene in mind in particular where
Okay.
I think that the drugs were important. I have it in my catch-all, but I could just ruin that right now if you want.
Do it for your next turn, or just wait till it shows up on your list. I don't either way.
Yeah, right. But the drugs will come back up because he's unreliable, and I think they did it for a reason. But
Okay.
it's a dumb thing to have run throughout your movie just so that they can do this one thing that I'm thinking of.
Yeah, because it's not a psychological thriller. It's a folk horror. So
No, it's not.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, your turn.
Here's another trope. He hands his cop friend a letter, and the cop friend reads it in about 30 seconds. No, 3 seconds.
Yeah.
3 seconds.
Yeah, he did. He read it pretty quick.
Well, she ends up being in on it, though, right?
No, the
Not
one at the
her.
precinct, the dude behind the desk, not the
guy with the
dude.
mustache.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
that was
hands
fun,
him the
but-
letter. He's like, read this shit. This is crazy, right? And he like opens it, and then he's like, wow, I didn't know you had a past. And then like started
You're right.
commenting on shit that's
Yeah.
like relevant to
Yeah.
the movie. But
Yeah.
like, I know it happens in movies all the time because you don't want to
Yeah.
waste time just watching the cop reading, like literally just staring at a piece of paper.
But for
But
a
you
movie
gotta
that's
give
so
him more than 3 seconds.
for a movie that's so clearly trying to pad the runtime, they could have used it. No one would have paid any mind to it.
With endless flashbacks.
There was easily ways to get around that. They
Yeah.
just were lazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I said there was a truly shaky premise from Go because would you fly to a remote location because of a single letter?
No.
No.
No. Yeah. Yeah.
Especially
go
if you were
there,
a highway cop catching speeders, not a detective.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. It's not
There's
even in the
hierarchy in the police department.
Right.
Yeah.
If
And he wasn't
somebody's
even
gonna
in
go investigate.
Yeah, the
And he-
detectives aren't catching speeders.
And he wasn't even there
Conflict
on
of interest.
he wasn't even there on official capacity because he was on administrative leave for the thing he witnessed.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
It's-
And they would never send him because it's his ex.
Yeah.
Like he's
conflict.
That's true.
immediately conflicted. So
Yeah.
all of it makes no sense.
I thought the bribing the pilot when he said my friend Grant and his buddy Ulysses. I mean,
Yeah.
it's
and
$100
his
bucks.
twin-
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
and his
$100
twin.
though. So I mean,
His
like,
brother.
not a bad payoff for like going the way you were going anyways with your cargo. You know,
Yo, on the pilot.
2006,
I'm
not
stoked.
bad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd take it.
that was actually like a full grocery cart back then.
Yeah, now it's 2 gallons of gas.
Yeah. Thank you, Biden.
Come on.
Sleepy Biden.
Thanks, Obama. Another trope for you. Well, we already mentioned it, so I'll do 2. Drugs make him an unreliable narrator, and so I still haven't said why, but I'll just do it now, just to make this point interesting. The scene where he's like waiting on the dock for the pilot to come back so he can use the radio
Yeah.
on the plane, and then he sees Rowan like drowning underneath the pier.
Yeah.
That's the whole reason. They had him in a drug-induced stupor where he's taking like pills every 15 seconds, so that you would buy that he would be having this like extra trauma horror scene because they don't have enough horror in this movie to title it the way they want to, like the mystery thriller horror genre. So they're like, let's fucking ham fist a fucking drowning of a child into this movie so it's a little more horrible. And how do we do that? We do that by making him a fucking drug-addled, trauma-induced police officer. And that, in my opinion, was the whole reason that they had him on drugs.
That makes
And
sense.
It was ineffective, and it was like an Inception dream within a dream on top of that. So
Yeah.
go ahead.
That's fair.
I'm going to mention this again at least once, but the full necktie sport jacket with the elbow patches. It
Yeah, I
seems
love the elbow patch.
it seems unnecessary for this kind of trip.
You might as well have had one of those hats on, the fedora, like 1920s cop fedora.
But in the original, the
Really
guy wore a
fat
complete.
long tie.
And in the original, the guy wore a complete police uniform the entire time.
All right. All right. Speaking of the jacket, Bob, perfect timing because this is next on my list, and it's actually it's a two-parter. It's in the same scene, so I'm just gonna do 2 parts. After he's locked in like the well tomb overnight in what's presumably freezing water or very frigid water, at least,
right?
He puts his jacket on over his soaking wet clothes, as if that's gonna provide anymore.
And he reties the necktie. I had this in my catch-all.
And then
I'm imagining the scene of him redressing somehow in like the reflection of the water.
and
it's one of those sins in cinema where they like go from what to try and they don't want you to pay attention to it.
and or they just assume like there might be a scene where like we don't want him just carrying it around. So he just needs to put it on real quick. But
it's not like he has anything else to wear, a bear suit or anything.
Yeah.
Like that.
In the same scene, when Willow rescues him from the weird pontoon well thing, he reveals to her that he finds Rowan's sweater and she smells it. Like that's going to give away some like smoking gun. She's like,
does.
She does.
I understand you want
It's a soaking wet sweater.
Like we got like baby
so
blankets
funny.
and like if the kids are like sleeping in States, she'll like smell like one of the blankets we have in our room because it's my kids, it's my child's scent. That's like a nice thing. But like she's smelling something that's like been soaking in pond scum for like an indeterminate amount of time, so it makes no fucking sense.
She's like those like tiny bubbles in her nose. That's all she can
She should have jolted back like, oh.
Yeah.
All right, last trope I got. No bullets in the gun when he goes to fire it at the end.
Yeah.
What I want to know is how the fuck Willow got the bullets out of that gun. When did that happen? Because he checks the magazine after
he does.
Yeah, after he is brought back from the dead in the field of beehives. He checks his magazine and the bullets are there.
Yeah, and the camera stayed on it for a second to make sure that we knew he did that.
That he still
wasn't he without his jacket more than once though?
Not at this point in the movie, I don't think. I think at that point
it was incongruent at that point, I think, but
I had a hard time with that one too, but I couldn't I couldn't catch the timeline.
He had his gun when he was in the bear suit, and he's talking to Willow.
Yeah.
So, right, but did he check the magazine by then?
He checked the magazine when he woke up from nearly dying.
Yeah,
and
that was before he met Lady Summerisle or whatever.
Yeah, but I don't think he took the gun off. No,
yeah.
I'm not gonna defend it because I don't understand either.
Yeah. Well, all right. Fair enough. Go ahead, Bob.
Speaking of the original, in the original, the island is called Summer Isle. The producers of the remake decided to change it to Summer's Isle because they thought it would be easier for Americans to pronounce.
No, it's worse. It's worse by far.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's dumb.
Yeah.
And the original was set in a Scottish island, not an American island.
Yeah, this was the Pacific Northwest, right? Yeah.
It was very UK.
Yes.
Bob, to answer your earlier question, the bee-stung man in the room, he is the cum supply. He passed the ball litmus test. Yeah. They keep him shut. So here's my running theory is because there has to be certain conditions for the sacrifice, like he has to be alive and there willingly. I think at conception, they need to sting him with a bunch of bees while he's climaxing in order for the bee goo to make the transference that they need to make their this proper offspring.
Yeah, I'm with it. Yeah, the reason they do the flick sack litmus is because they need to know if it can withstand the sting of many bees and the transference of bee goo into the man goo. I'm totally with you. 100%.
You guys are teaming up on me because I don't understand it at all.
Well, we thusly agree. I love how he walks 2 miles after getting dropped off by the plane, only to end up right next to the plane, and then the pilot is found out anyway.
Yeah.
The pilot drops him off and then goes to the harbor, and then Cage hikes 2 fucking miles through the forest and over rocky cliffs and shit, and then ends up in the harbor, and the plane is right there leaving anyway, and then they have a whole conversation, and they're like, did the pilot drop you off? And he's like, yeah. Why did we do all of this?
Yeah, that seems dumb. In the original, the policeman flew himself.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
And then they fucked with his plane, so he couldn't leave.
Yeah,
that's right.
That's what happened in the original. Not to spoil it for you guys, because you're gonna watch it.
Yeah, I don't care. I'm still gonna watch it.
I wrote down B and E, which is breaking and entering, at the doc's place after she taken away by tall Jawas and adult female voices.
Yeah.
These are the beekeepers who I considered tall Jawas. And if you don't know what a Jawa is, you don't know Star Wars.
Which is that you don't know movies. But B and E is so appropriate. I love that.
They just totally fucking ransacked the place. Yeah.
Okay, so speaking of the pilot, I think did they because they said they're going to give him a talking to, and then he tries getting the radio. Are they implying that they killed the pilot because the radio was ripped out of the plane?
Oh,
well, they showed the pilot dead.
Yeah.
Did they show the pilot dead?
They show, yeah,
They
in the
show
water.
pilot dead. Yeah.
Oh no, you're right.
He's short. He's on shore, and his lips are like sewn together, and he's like his arm bone is sticking out. Like I didn't really
but
get
it's
it.
Oh yeah, I do remember. Okay, yeah.
in Rob's defense, it's really quick. Like they don't
Oh,
give you a whole lot of time to process it.
I thought it was just
So
like
our
some
first,
other one of the other island dudes, but I didn't get.
Yeah,
you only get so much screen time with the pilot, so I must have just not absorbed that.
Plus, they sewed his
You're
mouth,
right.
and it wasn't even shut. It was so strange.
It's unfair.
You see it though, like in the very beginning. You don't see him, but in the very beginning of our first dialogue clip on number 5, there is a spot where there's like 3 masked women, and so Cage just found the dead pilot, and he's like throwing up basically on the shore, and that's where the clip picks up, and then there's 3 women that just pop up with their masks on, and they're all looking at him
out
on the shore.
out of the bushes. Yeah.
And then they all drop back down behind the bushes, and he never notices them. There's literally
like
no
Scooby Doo with the fucking binoculars.
Yeah, it's like an extra 5 seconds I included on the clip just to have that because it's super funny. Is it my turn?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was in the bag? He says a shark. We never see.
It was probably another body.
Yeah, like super fucking frustrating. That he's not like, no, actually, show me what's in the bag on the cup. Like it's bleeding.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, dripping all
And we
sorts of
never
weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, like it should have been like a wild boar native to the island or something.
Yeah.
and then it would have been like, oh, that's super suspicious. Oh no, it's a boar.
Yeah, like something misleading to be like, oh, they're just hunting.
A red herring. It could have been a giant red herring.
Yes,
because they spelled everything else out so much.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, Bob.
Edward and Willow like start making out after talking about their missing daughter. Like nothing makes me want to make out more than talking about the missing daughter I didn't know I had 5 minutes before this.
Oh yeah, she might be dead too.
Oh no. Shared trauma.
I was very bothered by that.
All right.
Yeah, same.
I really this movie just makes me like not trust women getting together in large groups. or driving or voting, but that's another episode. Just kidding. I'm joking about the last part. But like, yeah, it's like they're all like this very passive aggressive, like, oh, I almost got stung to death. That's a pity. Like, you fucking bitch. He's just trying to find in his mind, he's just trying to find a missing girl. He's trying to do the right thing. And you're like, oh, that's a shame you didn't just get fucking killed by bees. Like, weird. Anyhow.
What a pity.
Yeah, what a pity.
It is.
It is
because then the movie would have ended sooner, and we wouldn't have had to waste so much time.
Yeah.
Your turn. I have a total failure of weird vibe. They're going for the kind of vibe that like keeps you on your toes because it's like interesting.
Yeah.
But it isn't. It isn't. It's just like it's an entirely cheesy weird vibe to me.
Yeah.
Fraught with like awful dialogue that's trying to enhance
terrible
the vibe that just fails you at every step.
Yeah, it's trying to mix in the Americanization with the original, and it just doesn't work because it's not consistent. It's very inconsistent.
Yeah.
All right, mine is gonna sound like a Seagal thing, but watching Nicolas Cage ride a bicycle is really funny.
I think we mentioned that in episode 2.
God damn it!
There
We're
was
mentioning it
so
again
much.
in this
There was
episode.
so much of him riding a bicycle. It was so funny.
I fucking love that, Bob, because that's coming up again. I am reading mine. You said it, but I'm reading mine anyway.
That's okay.
I'm totally gonna mention it again.
Rob, your turn.
Yeah, I got one more, and then I'm also gonna play the abuser, which I may or may not abuse for the rest of the episode. But I think the biggest source of comedy is one we haven't mentioned yet, and it's the surprisingly well placed and well paced film score against what's actually playing out on screen. Because those sinister like string swells are like, God, in any other movie that'd be effective.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
That's fair.
like fucking, it could have been cool, but like, but it's him yelling how to get burned, how to get burned. Oh, another plant.
Yeah. Whoa. Another plant.
So yeah, and then the let me just get the abuser lined up real quick.
God damn it!
That was him right after he woke up a second time in the dream sequence where Rowan was drowning.
Yeah.
He's like really mad at himself for taking too many drugs and falling asleep on a beer. They were engaged, and he somehow has no idea where she lived.
Well, it sounds like she ran off.
Yeah, so like they got engaged, and he doesn't know where she's from. Like imagine like agreeing to marry someone and you don't know where they're from.
Yeah,
right.
I mean, that's not too far fetched. You have
don't
90
care who you are,
Chris,
where
90
you're from, what
90 Day
you
Fiance,
do,
Chris.
as long as you love me.
90 Day Fiance, arranged marriages,
Yeah.
having a one night stand and then getting married out of wedlock. It happens.
Yeah, but a person who claims themselves to be a detective would not
Doesn't
deal with
need
it.
to know. I don't know. I don't know. your
Maybe he
background at
respected her
all.
boundaries. Maybe he was just like, okay, she's clearly crazy.
He was like,
I
you're
should
not
respect those
cross-eyed
boundaries.
enough. He was like, you're not
Yeah.
cross-eyed enough to not be hot. I don't care where you're from.
Maybe it was a post nut thing, like, oh, you marry me.
Yeah, that's true.
And after the nut, she flicked his sack just once
To make sure it was pure.
Yeah, make sure he was good for the harvest.
God
So
damn
what
it.
the fuck
Okay.
was that?
I have one more observation before two facts. So my last observation was, and this is only in the theatrical release apparently, they squeezed in two major cameos at the very end of the movie, James Franco and Jason Ritter. Like, that was incredible.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yep, that's true.
Yeah.
Like, that was 2006. They weren't totally unknown, were they?
Not
They
totally, no,
didn't
'cause James Franco
they
was
didn't
in
have
the,
their
Spider-Man franchise.
They weren't like household names yet, but like you've seen them around.
Yeah. Considering they were cameos, I thought that was pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. Because Franco was going to be the next victim, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, go ahead, Rob.
Nah, I'm good. You go ahead.
Okay. Bee Epi was the brand that he had of EpiPens for bee stings, and
Yeah.
I thought that was a total missed opportunity because it could have been Ep B.
Yeah. Yeah.
That
I guess.
FB pen.
Go ahead, Bob. Yeah, EP dash B.
So in the police station, near the beginning, there's a missing sign, and there's a photo of the guy from the original movie, the character who played, the guy that went to the island. Thought that was kind of neat.
Huh.
That was the only neat thing in the whole damn movie.
All right.
That and Grant and his twin brother Ulysses.
Yeah.
The day after tomorrow conversation he has with that like kind of hot girl was infuriating and almost made worse dialogue.
It paid off with the quizzical part, though. I was just being quizzical.
He's talking to the like kind of hot younger chick, and he's like, the day off tomorrow, and she's like, what are you talking about? And he was like, I thought that was like a local term where you say like the day after tomorrow, you say day off tomorrow. She was like, I don't know what you're talking about. What you're talking about is when he's talking to his sister Rose, and she's like,
that's right, yeah.
That would she's like, that would be very quixotic of you, and he's like, quixotic, and she's like, like Don Quixote, like rushing into the windmill, and then later, like just after that, they go outside to talk. She's like, I don't know what she says, but he's like, yeah, that would be too quixotic, but it doesn't even work.
Yeah,
it wasn't even like quixotic at all. It didn't work at all. It was like really frustrating, but I know what you're talking about.
So this was my foreshadowing during my worst production. Nicolas Cage objected to the criticism that this film he objected to the criticism this film was unintentionally funny, saying that he and the director knowingly made the picture in an absurdist black comedy, and that it should have been seen and judged as such. I call bullshit.
Yeah, because there's another interview. There's another interview where he was just like, he went into it like thinking it was gonna be more like the original, and then like as he got further into it, he's like, he kind of realized it was bullshit, but like he's like, I gotta just lean into it. And I think he's also admitted that. So,
dude, and at this point, with how many times I've seen it, it might have been its money back. So he did the right thing. You know, because I love it for what he did in it.
yeah. He has that ability to like save otherwise completely trashed movies.
Yeah, but you're right, Bob. Like they broke his legs. That it was not a comedy.
Yeah.
No.
Not of any kind. Why did they do the sister Rose twin sister scene where he like leaves her after the quixotic conversation, and then he sees her again, like harvesting something, and he's like, "Didn't I just talk to you?" And she's like, "No." And that like the whole conversation. It's like the whole thing.
She's like, "You did not."
Why? Yeah. Why? And he was like, "Oh, well, do you have a twin who's a teacher on the island?" No, he doesn't say that. He just goes about his business. It's like, why did that happen at all? I didn't understand that.
Yeah.
Bob, you got another one?
No, I'm all finished.
All right, I'm gonna go faster. Not enough horror. Oh well, so I already said that. Rituals of the Ancients. That was the name of the book. Who's Ancients?
Theirs.
Okay. Cage pushing a bike, incredible. Cage riding a bike, I lost control. I completely lost control. I've seen this movie like 7 times. I could not control myself. Well, just watching him go down like a rocky path on a steep decline even.
On a fixie bike.
I was losing. Oh my God, it was so good. He runs into every goddamn beehive in that field.
Yep.
Everything in his path.
Yeah.
Moss treated the danger of him being stung by all those bees in the old way, and we don't know what that is.
Yeah.
Yeah, we never will. Future. He didn't thank Moss for saving his life, which is a parallel to Kat in Cool as Ice, when she didn't thank Vanilla Ice for saving her life from a kidnapping, potentially.
Yeah.
Just,
But what's worse?
Well, we'll find out soon enough in the offensive minigame. But if you somehow hadn't already gathered this, guys, they spell it out for you. Summers Isle's Celtic ancestors rebelled against the suppression of the feminine. They moved to the East Coast of America, near Salem, by the way, they make sure to mention, but found the same cultural issues. So they moved from the East Coast to the West Coast. But then they moved from there out to a tiny little island to harvest honey and enslave men. If you didn't gather all that, they do give you the exposition. I'm sure that through the course of the movie you realized all that naturally.
Yeah.
I love after Summers Isle sends him off after the bee stings and all that shit. She's like, "Your transport," and it's a guy that just wheels over a bicycle. She goes, "Your transport," and it's just an old man on a bicycle. So So Cage has to get on the bike and wheel himself away. That's his trade.
Yep.
Oh my god, I thought that was so good. Why did they trap him in a flooded crypt? He could have easily died. And then what?
Yeah.
I mean, we mentioned that already.
That would have ruined their sacrifice. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, it would have. Yeah.
Right.
Huh.
Yeah. Too many car fire flashbacks, in my opinion. We kind of mentioned that already.
Yeah.
A bee-covered naked woman in a chair in a small room laughing at Cage for some reason. It's like very strange to me. But you're right, Bob. That's trailer fodder. Probably.
No. So after the bee guy dumped in her, they got to sting her to make sure that the sticky icky
The
sticks to her egg.
transference, yeah, right, yeah. Mhm. Yeah.
And she's happy about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was very happy.
Yeah.
Cover me. Why did they kill the pilot? I mean, like, the pilot would never have known that they killed Cage. Like, he doesn't give two shits.
Yeah. Because he brought an outside person. But, like, he was supposed to bring the outside person.
He was supposed to, exactly. He was supposed to.
Yeah. So, like, I think it's because he would have brought anybody on the island, I think, if he was paid enough, and that's caused alarm to them. But he was supposed to bring Nicolas Cage onto the island because that was prophecy. Huh.
Killing Cage is like killing the lesser dead. Like, you're
yeah.
Killing somebody who, like, randomly shows up at your island, even though it was planned, is like something that the outside world will never know. But, like, killing someone who's vital to the commerce of your island, like, that's not going to go unnoticed. He's got to go back to his, like, he's got another employee who's, like, set up his deliveries or whatever. So
yeah, that's true.
They're going to find out. They shouldn't have killed him. Shoes would give him away. So when he takes off the bear suit, he's still got the bare feet on as he runs through the forest.
Yep. He does.
He can't wear normal shoes, so he takes off the fucking bear costume and he's chasing Rowan back to, like, where he gets killed, and he's still got the fuzzy bear costume feet on because he can't, like, carry shoes with him or whatever. Oh my god! I just love that he's in, like, a white t-shirt and jeans and he's running through the forest with fake bare feet. I have three more. The mom and daughter from the fucking car.
Yeah.
They're in the gaggle at the end.
Yeah.
I'm like, come on. How and when did Willow unload the gun? All right, I already said it. And Sister Summer's Isle says, "Oh, gods and goddesses of nature." That's who she's praying to.
Yes.
Really? Oh, gods and goddesses of nature. It's nothing more specific than that.
Yeah.
After thousands of years of cultivating this Celtic ceremony, it's gods and goddesses of nature. Give me a fucking break. All right. Why don't we throw it to what we're watching?
I just asked the guys, like, what are we watching? What are you watching? And instead I get,
Oh, you think you got jokes? You know what you're gonna get? You're gonna get this gas money. Take that with you. Take that gas money with you. That's what you're gonna get. Who got
Hey, let's do it.
Double fart bumpers.
Oh, yeah.
Should I go or?
Same order.
Yeah. All right. I'm watching The Penguin on HBO Max. It's a spin-off of the movie that came out with Robert Pattinson as the Batman, which wasn't good. But it is Colin Farrell as the Penguin, and he's not the diminutive, like, super unattractive and corny, no offense, Penguin that Danny DeVito portrays in the Tim Burton version of Batman. It's much more serious than that. He's a guy who has, like, a fucked up foot, like a club toe, basically.
Yeah.
So he, like, waddles, and he's fat, and he's short, but he's, like, 5'8". He's not, like, 4'10", you know?
Yeah.
And he is a super... So I've only seen one episode, but it's really well written, the one episode I saw, because he is a sympathetic but terrible person who's very good at crime. He's not... He's unassuming. You would not think that he's a smart guy. But when you watch the show, you realize he's very, very good at the crime game. And he does some horrible shit, but you're still rooting for him. and I only saw the one, so I'm excited to watch more episodes of that. It's actually really good. And the other thing that I'm looking forward to watching but haven't started yet is Agatha All Along, and this is for my nerds out there. It's on Disney Plus. It is
it's a Marvel.
I forget her.
It's the WandaVision.
And I feel bad
thing.
because she's always the second fiddle. Yeah, it's the next coming of WandaVision, where Agatha the witch, who was kind of pulling the string on Wanda in the Marvel universe, has her own spinoff. And I'm looking forward to watching that. But I've heard the episodes are only like 20 minutes long, and it was supposed to kind of be a full-length movie, but they turned it into a show anyway.
Right.
But I'm looking forward to it either way. So those are the two things that I plan on watching. Why don't we throw it over to Bob to hear what he's watching?
Well, you heard one of mine, The Wicker Man, 1973. It's got Christopher Lee of Lord of the Rings fame.
Love Christopher Lee.
And so he's Lord Summerisle. So it's not a female-run community like the remake was. And he explains the whole like background of when his grandfather came to the island and cultivated fruit that couldn't grow anywhere else, and he got people to work for him based on some religion that he made up. It was really well expository speech. But it's got a bizarre cast of crooked-toothed Brits on an island off of Scotland, and it's an overly religiously themed story of what's considered by the lead character as a pagan religion, but probably seen by modern audiences as no more ridiculous than virgin birth and resurrection. Like it's good religious discourse, in my opinion.
All right.
I liked it more.
I've heard that people from Pennsylvania are more patriotic than most Americans, but you like just taking a fucking shot at British people's teeth, like just confirm that for me. You're from Pennsylvania, you hate British people because you're from like
I don't hate British people. I was making an observation in the 1970s. There were a lot of crooked-toothed Brits out there.
Yeah.
I would expect
They're still on for the record.
I would expect you to be from Philly with that comment, but you're not.
Anyway, I like this movie more than the remake, but not all that much. Then again, so much of the original, so much of the remake's overall story, not the vibe, but the story was ripped directly from this. Like so much dialogue was taken directly from this. And since I watched the remake first, it was hard to be surprised by this movie.
Yeah.
Which made it a little bit disappointing. Like I kind of knew where it was going.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I kind of see where this is going. But the motivation was different, and that made it more entertaining, more of a touchstone. It's on Tubi, so it's free.
All right.
So feel free to watch it. And the last thing, real quick. Cool as Ice, Riff Tracks version.
Oh, how was
so damn funny. It's so damn funny. And I never noticed that the cat had 3 whole lemons on her nightstand before seeing this.
Huh.
Entire lemons?
3 entire lemons. The guys on Riff Tracks are like, it's like, okay, 3 lemons, check. And I'm like, what? Why are 3 lemons on her nightstand?
How do we miss 3 lemons?
I don't know. This is on Freevee, which I think is an Amazon offshoot.
It's Amazon Prime, yep.
And you can see it for free with commercials. Freevee.
Maybe I'll watch that tonight.
Cool as Ice, Riff Tracks. I'm about 3/4 of the way through it, and I died laughing at least twice.
Nice.
Nice.
I'll have to check that out tonight. Not much for me. I've been doing some X-Files. I rewatched, Chris, you're going to hate this, 1989 stand-up comedy special, Bill Hicks, Sane Man. So fucking good. And it's surprisingly timely because he's railing on like Reaganomics and like how we've turned into the third mall from the sun, and how like it was like making fun of PC culture during the height of like the Tipper Gore stuff, but like also just really good observational comedy about being a road. There was a long tour before leading up to it where he's just going through all these podunk southern towns, like in the 80s before they were developed like they are now. Because like Nashville might as well just be like New Haven, you know? It's the same fucking thing. But he's just going around saying how he's going to call it his flying saucer tour because he too, like an alien, is traveling into weird backwoods areas, seeing a bunch of incredibly like bewildered people, and it's a solid like hour and a half of comedy. I strongly recommend it. It's Bill Hicks in top form. And that's
Bill
what I got.
Bill Hicks was completely ripped off by Dennis Leary.
Yes, the whole
Like
the smoking bit.
Yeah, Dennis Leary just took his whole persona.
Yeah.
And Bill Hicks did it first. And I'm not saying either of them are great, but
Yeah.
I respect Bill Hicks for being the pioneer.
I don't celebrate Bill Hicks' entire catalog because his later stuff it was just too preachy and political. But this one was just like it was enough. It was enough of that, but also just like him just railing on common people. Like you could tell on this one, he's been on the road for like 2 years and he's just so fucking tired of it, and he just uses that energy on stage.
Yeah.
And
I hate them both.
Okay.
All right, let's throw it to bad credit names.
Michelle Scooby Vincent, Terry Tangai, Chi Chamalak, Karen Cockrell, Byron Drinkle, and Julia Stab.
Drinkle and Stab.
Real quick. We are going kind of long, but we also forgot a very important clip.
Oh shit! Oh, we did.
Should I play it?
Yeah, do it. Yeah, do it.
God!
That was the drop kick against the wall.
Yeah, that was dropkick. So I skipped over it because you literally played the abuser on like my turn to play that catch-all clip. So I was like, I'll just do it later, and then totally.
Oh,
I didn't want to like put clip after clip, you know.
Well, we got it.
Yeah,
we got it.
You know what? Next time, see at work, I realize if I don't just do it right away, then I'll forget. So maybe I should treat the pod the same way, you know.
Fair enough.
All right, let's go to the offensive minigame, and I'll talk really quick so that we can get this shit done.
Well, dude, mind your business, because I'll fight a woman if that's what your big ass really is.
Oh, that's the kind of thing that fits in the offensive minigame.
Jacking a journal or beating up a bunch of broads.
Broads.
Context is everything. I say jacking the journals. Actually, you're stealing an innocent, presumably underage woman's private thoughts from her bedroom, whereas these women are holding him hostage and potentially murdering a child for honey. I think it's justified to punch the women in the face.
Yeah, your context is actually accurate.
It's good. Yeah, I'm almost persuaded here.
I'm persuaded.
Okay,
cool. I'm leaning back to Rob.
Nice job, Rob.
Journal Jack.
Okay. Pre-ritual rigmarole or hardwood humping a high schooler.
The second one, definitely the second
High
one.
schooler, definitely.
Yeah. So it's a tie. We actually need a tiebreaker.
No, not true. Hardwood humping a high schooler was from Cool as Ice as well.
Cool as Ice.
Oh yeah, I said. Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah, yeah. My bad. Yep. No. So whoops.
Well, let's see how impactful this one is. Killing a cop for crops, or finger water.
See, that's gonna go against my original context argument. But like, I mean, if they grew up and that's all they know and they've been indoctrinated, then like they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. Whereas like fingering a girl's mouth with ice cubes while she's sleeping, is not okay.
He knows.
It isn't.
Yeah,
Bob.
maybe
that's all he knows.
He definitely knows better.
Yeah, maybe that's how his father.
I'm saying old Tommy Schlongschlinger is a little more offensive than in this context.
Oh God! In the Riff Tracks version, they say Schlinger Schlong so many times. I was cracking up.
I bet they do.
So
yeah.
Cool as Ice, Queen sweep the offensive, huh?
I think
potentially.
So.
All right.
More not. At least 2 out of 3.
All right.
You know, they call it vagina, but it's Vagina. V''G''I''N''A. It's Vagina. You can't even spell vagina. That's what you're trying to spell vagina.
All right. Cool as Ice or The Wicker Man. Rob, you won last week with a 5-star. That's impressive.
Yep.
But it is superseded our team 5-star.
Team 5 overrides it, yeah.
Yeah. Offensive, we just did. Cool as Ice wins. Dialogue, what's worse? Cool as Ice or Wicker Man? Probably Cool as Ice. Right? I don't know.
I think Cool as
They're
Ice.
both so fucking
Yeah,
bad.
I'll go with Cool as Ice.
Dialogue is bad with Cool as Ice.
Because they're both bad, but Cool as Ice is trying to be cool, but it doesn't work.
Yeah.
I feel like we're going to lose our credibility if Cool as Ice wins, though, because then it's like, why did we bring Wicker Man back on the pod? But, we got to let science, man.
Yeah.
We can't influence it, so
Yeah.
I agree. All right, check it out. This is why earlier I was saying, Bob, that it's really interesting that your production was for The Wicker Man. The spirit of the original is lost because for Cool as Ice, we have inspired by, but not inspired. Similar themes, not the same by any stretch, but similar themes.
I will give Cool as Ice this much credit. They tried to do something original, whereas Wicker Man, really didn't. And then they fucked that up too.
I'm going to take Bob's side on this one and they were also asked repeatedly not to do this, and they did it anyway.
Right. They not only did they rip off the story, but they did it poorly.
Yeah.
Not to rhyme.
All right, I'm going to, nice job. Then in true Vanilla Ice style there.
Yeah.
I need you guys right now, this is a little unconventional, but give me a demerit for Wicker Man, please.
God.
This
bicycle? Bees?
Does it make sense where if I say they said the loud part quiet and the quiet part loud?
I was
I
thinking
feel like
maybe...
they hammered things over your head that were obvious, but then they didn't tell you the things that you really kind of needed to be clued in on.
I kind of agree with the hammering point because I'm thinking something like you can't make an omelet without breaking a couple legs.
I'm gonna say completely inconsistent. It was just it didn't. They couldn't keep the freaky stuff consistent, and they couldn't keep the American storyline consistent. They tried to meld the two, and it just was clunky.
Yeah.
It's inconsistent.
Inconsistent, yeah.
All right, we'll just say inconsistent. What's worse? Inconsistent or Schling a Schlong?
Inconsistent, because Schling a Schlong was a hotbed of that's fertile ground. I'm gonna be quoting that forever. You can't quote inconsistency.
That's true. You can't quote inconsistency, but I don't know. Schling a Schlong.
I'm slinging a schlong.
Yeah.
I'm slinging a schlong.
Okay.
Me too.
All right.
So now what it comes down to, and the reason why I had us do demerits first was acting. What's worse?
Cool as Ice.
I think it's
because Nicolas Cage, he did what he could with what he had, and it's overacting, but it kind of worked. Yeah.
I agree. So by a margin of 4-2, the worst of the season is Cool as Ice. I feel like it right, even though Wicker Man is one of the worst movies I've ever seen. From start to finish. It is
but how many
awful,
but think about it though. The science is right though, because gun to head, which one would you watch again?
Obviously you've watched
we've both seen Wicker Man 8 times.
I would watch Wicker Man again.
Collectively, we've seen it almost 20 times.
Honestly, even watching the Riff Tracks version of Cool as Ice, I was thinking, am I watching this again?
Yeah. Wicker Man is a once a year outing.
Yeah.
It's true. It really does. I don't know how, because I don't plan on watching it again.
It just happens to you. It's like you're scrolling through and you see it's on Amazon or Netflix again. You're like, oh shit, I gotta watch this. And then you just clear your calendar and you fucking do it.
It's true. You're not wrong. So what I'm doing right now is I'm going into our live poll to see what won, and it's not looking good. I kind of hate it. I'm not looking forward to this. I feel the same way that I did about not another church movie here, and it's like the kind of bad comedy that I just really don't want to watch because like I know it's going to be horrifyingly bad,
Mhm.
and not in the way that I want to make fun of. But not another church movie did win last season, so you know. Anyway, the movie that won is White Chicks.
Yeah.
Oh, I was not expecting. I
I've never
wasn't
seen it
expecting
either.
that.
I didn't. I picked it not having seen it. I don't even know how bad it is, but it's probably terrible.
I've never seen it.
Awful.
Yeah.
Well, we had Little Man with a Wayne brother as well, and we had Eddie Murphy's Meet Dave, where
Yeah,
Meet Dave.
I think I'm gonna do Meet Dave. I think I'm gonna do Meet Dave for the rest of the season until hopefully ends because he is like a tiny little human alien inside of a machine that looks like Eddie Murphy.
Okay.
I know it looks really, really, really awful, and I've always kind of wanted to do it, so I'm just gonna keep pushing it every week until it wins.
Cool.
So yeah, look forward to that. Cool as Ice is the worst movie of the season still. Next week, White Chicks. Rob, why don't you plug us and then send it over Bob for his last word?
www.theworstmovieevermade.com. It takes you to a Linktree page where you can see us on Spotify, Google Play, Apple Podcasts, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. If you go to YouTube, you should hit that like and subscribe. Hey, if you're on Apple Music or Apple Podcasts, you should hit that review button, give us a 5-star. Even if you want to talk shit, give us a 5-star because 1-star things don't go to the top, 5-star ones do. So if you want to say horrible things to us, give us a higher review and then explain yourself. But yeah, we do trailers. We have polls like you just heard. That determines our fate for the following week. Subscribe, notify on YouTube. You can watch us. You can see our pretty faces. And you can email us as well. So, Bob, what's your last word?
It's got to be bees.
See you next week, guys. I like these new headphones, but I'm not used to wearing them this long, and they really hurt my ears.
That's fair.
I
don't want to watch White Chicks.
Yeah.
Hold on. Not like.
I'll see if I can get a copy tonight.
All right.
What year is that coming out?
Probably like 2008, 2009.
2004.
2004.
Yeah.
Ow. Hey, bye, Jelly Scoop.
Bye, Jelly Scoop.